This is Things You Might Not Have Heard. I am Jay Cleveland Payne, and I'm ready to present to you the latest from the weekend's big news in information, politics, and current events and pop culture news. We are your go-to supplemental source for both mainstream and unconventional news stories you may have missed with a little added context to it, and we'll get into what we have in our teaser graphic. You're watching the video with Jon Stewart and the problem with Jon Stewart, which is the actual problem, and 9 other stories in the weekend that were vetted by you as conversational and then curated into this thing here for the morning broadcast. We'll also get into some today things, some fun things for the way, so stay tuned from all that stuff, and explain how the vetting process goes, how you actually tell us what stories are the best to talk about, and how to get into these things. More information about the full offerings of the Conversation Project at our website. This is theconversationproject.com. Check it out for more details, and we'll go deeper into that as well. Right now, headlines are up. 10 headlines for today that were, of course, vetted by you, created by myself, Jay Cleveland Payne. Today happens to be Monday, October 23rd, 2023. And so the acid reflux edition of the Conversation Project, Things You Might Not Have Heard, is coming up right now. Kicking things off this morning with this first headline, reading just like this. Kenneth Chesebro, a Donald Trump co-defendant in Georgia, pleads guilty in election conspiracy case. We pulled this from USA Today, and this was a story that came out at the end of the week on Friday at basically another person essentially flipping on the group. Now, technically not so much flipping, but Kenneth Chesebro, who was called essentially the architect of the plan to do the false electors and overthrow the government, although his lawyers will beg to differ with that assessment, is now joining the likes of Sidney Powell as people who are pleading guilty to a bunch of things to leave some time off the table, especially not going to jail, and then are going to testify truthfully against the other 17 folks. One of those other 17 folks in Georgia includes Donald Trump. Now, we'll see what's going on and whether Trump should be worried about what Sidney Powell says because everyone thinks he's crazy, and what Kenneth Chesebro says because people think he's not so much crazy, they think he's sane. But his plan was batty from the get-go, and they didn't know what to go with it. He's a lawyer who advised Trump, of course, during the campaign, and essentially was the guy who came up with the plan for the fake electors, things like that. He's going to get 5 years probation and pay a $5,000 restitution. That's it. He pleaded guilty to filing false documents. That's basically what he got. He basically for the conspiracy part, not for the overthrowing of the government part. It gets kind of odd on that cases. More on this going on and how many more people who will flip we shall see in the next coming days. Let's skip away to a judge ruling that Alex Jones can't use his bankruptcy protection to avoid paying the Sandy Hook families. This is something that's a long time coming, as Alex Jones is supposed to pay $1.1 billion. That's billion with the B to families who sued him over his Sandy Hook conspiracies, basically saying the massacre was a hoax, the kids were crisis actors, the whole thing was made up, and going nuts with that, and some reason people believing it, and basically calling the parents and the people around Sandy Hook, around the school, and telling them they're liars because Alex Jones said so. Even though Alex Jones has basically said he's a liar and you shouldn't listen to him, yet people do. How he's getting out of this, or trying to, was essentially file for bankruptcy. His business, his personal stuff. He's gotten divorced where his wife says he's a horrible father. He agreed to this one. All sorts of things going on. And it's sort of odd because Jones spent about $93,000 in July on things like meals, entertainment, and just basic stuff for him while filing for bankruptcy. $1.5 billion in judgments. 1.1 is essentially what he needs to pay, and this bankruptcy is not going to stop that from happening. There is money in the Jones household. It's just not obviously money because he's trying to hide it from the world. On Friday, Spirit Airlines canceled dozens of flights to inspect some planes, and the headline basically goes to the fact that disruptions basically rippled throughout the weekend. 100 flights on Friday pulled after some planes were just had some issues out of service because of inspection issues. These are more or less the nature of the business, but all going out at the same time or this weekend made the cancellation a problem for the aircraft and the actual airline, which had basically weeks worth of things planned, and it'll take days to get things straightened out to some semblance of order. In fact, some of those flights will still be sort of weeks behind in getting things caught up. But if you have a flight already planned and then without the maintenance that's then scheduled popping in there, those planes unavailable means other people need to move to other planes, other airlines, and it's all sort of chaos. Somehow Spirit was able to handle it okay because this is a pre-strike information, not a post. Spirit died and did a bunch of things going on. No big, although a lot of people's eyeballs are covered in other things. No big headlines on Spirit Airlines having serious troubles other than knowing they're going to be delayed for a few days to weeks. Dropbox handing over 25% of San Francisco headquarters back to landlord as commercial real estate softens. This is a kind of a dual-edged sword because number one, it's in San Francisco, and everyone knows San Francisco is not getting a good rep for just being a great place to be right now. And many places, many businesses are leaving that area just because it's not so great. The number two thing, Dropbox is saying it doesn't need a quarter of its real estate it has right now because people are working remotely, they don't need the space, and they could save the fee. So right now they're going to pay $79 million in a termination fee for that space to give it back to their landlords because it's not needed. They're trying to save some costs on real estate portfolios to save the costs for, all together. Dropbox still doing fairly well. It's the number one source I use for saving and sharing things, so that's my endorsement on that end. But all these companies in San Francisco, many companies in the Bay Area, and just in general in California are dealing with real estate, and just all over the nation with real estate issues. And California and San Francisco in particular having some serious issues as once a bustling headquarters of Silicon Valley like companies, things are getting kind of ugly really fast. This, I believe, is the first actual cancellation of anything major because of the conflict via Hamas and Israel. You call it conflict, call it a war. People have jumped at me saying it's not a war because Hamas is not an actual combatant, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. MTV EMA Awards canceled due to Hamas-Israeli conflict is the headline we pulled from Yahoo News Entertainment version, although they aggregate as well. The award show was originally scheduled for November the 5th and has had performance scheduled by Renee Rapp, Sabrina Carpenter, Olivia Rodrigo, and SZA. They will not be performing at this thing, and who knows what happens to awards going forward. As teased, we're talking about Jon Stewart, or technically the problem with Jon Stewart, as Apple TV Plus's show is going to end reportedly over coverage of AI in China. Essentially, Jon Stewart called the folks together and said that AI and China stories that they were planning on working on is not really what Apple TV Plus wants them to talk about. So the show is going to be basically canceled. The show survived COVID and being the remote stuff. The show survived bad reviews, and the show actually revives what not so much the bad reviews, but low viewership because people aren't tuning into Apple TV Plus to watch Jon Stewart. While it makes headlines and he gets plenty of verbal reactions from his viral things, the show itself is not bringing people into Apple Plus, or people coming to Apple Plus TV, or Apple TV Plus should say, aren't watching the show with the with the people that are mad and drinking, taking drugs, and having the double lives going on. I don't know what it is because I don't have Apple TV Plus, and sticking around for Jon Stewart. So it looks like the show will be canceled because of that one. No real word that it is officially done, but essentially because Jon Stewart wants to cover China stories, and iPhones need to be sold and made in China, and artificial intelligence, which right now they're kind of working into, they don't want to go there. SAG-AFTRA asking striking actors to avoid certain Halloween costumes. What are they asking you to avoid? Not dressing up as popular characters from content that they're actually striking from. So if you want to go as Barbie, that's kind of an issue. If you want to go as the Toy Story people, that's kind of an issue. So that means a lot more sexy vampires and sexy teachers and sexy waitresses and all, sexy kittens. Those things will be or fodder. But they want you to stay away from promoting actual popular characters from actual media because, they're on strike from that right now. 100 days, I believe, is where the actor strike is at the moment. This next headline is a bit of a swerve. Let me read it and go into the story. Jonathan Majors' Kang character removed from a Loki series, Marvel confirms. However, Jonathan Majors is not removed from the entire concept yet. Jonathan Majors' Kang character is removed because they have shown some pictures, but apparently he won't be playing Kang in this season. In fact, he just had his first appearance in the show over the past weekend as not He Who Remains or one of the Kang variants, but a Kang variant being Victor Timely, which has a very complicated issue, very complicated backstory from the comics. But Victor Timely, who essentially is the branch off where this thing story starts in the television show for the Kang Dynasty, is very much prominent, as right now he's the only one who can fix the TVA from blowing up. Spoiler alert. But the Kang character has been confirmed to not be in this series for the season at least. We shall see if we're being swerved again or what's going on, because this headline definitely was one that caught my attention. And then you read the story, it's like, oh, okay, okay, okay. CVS to pull some cold cough products that would contain phenylephrine. I always butcher that, phenylephrine off the shelves because of my speech impediment. I always butcher things like that. But CVS Health will remove from its shelves certain oral cough and cold products that contain the drug that only as the only active ingredient, the U.S. pharmacy chain said on Thursday. The FDA has yet to remove phenylephrine from its list of ingredients for over-the-counter use, but CVS is taking the preemptive strike to doing it on their own for their businesses. And let's wrap up with some more love between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Or is it Taylor Swift and Britney Holmes? Because the future Mrs. Maotto, because Mahomes and Maotto, was partying up with the Chiefs in the box again, hanging out with at the win that the Chiefs got on the Week 7. And, of course, Taylor Swift doing a little bitty dance with Britney Holmes, celebrating the win, all the great stuff. So everybody in the family loves each other. Travis and Patrick are happy, and Taylor and Britney are happy, and all are happy except for maybe Patrick's little brother, who's kind of a jerk. But other than that, all's going well. We talked about last week how Travis Kelce's spending big money on a compound with laser beam sharks and moats and things so they can have some privacy, and all the money he's spending on security because Taylor Swift's a big deal. Travis Kelce should be a big deal. His brother's like, dude, I won a game yesterday. I should be a big deal. But, Taylor Swift and blah, 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 blah. We love Taylor Swift, although she used to sing songs for 8th graders that were kind of, losers. But, that's my opinion. That is my opinion. I'll say that very loudly. Our errors, omissions, and apologies, errors, and omissions section, which is basically me apologizing for not being apologies, errors, and omissions, is one quick story, one quick drop, which is actually a commentary that came out, which kind of makes you feel kind of old, as the headline for it reads, the Lakers' LeBron James is redefining NBA longevity as he reaches his 21st season. LeBron James is in his 21st year of playing, and if his son is able to get through a year of college, or just basically get through a year old enough to play, he may play in his 22nd or 23rd season with LeBron James Jr. That may be the first combination, I believe the first combination in NBA history, because for a child who was born after LeBron James joined the league, even though he joined the league at 17, it's a hard go to go 21 seasons in a career, especially at a high level of play. LeBron James still arguably the best player in the game, one of the most influentials, and he may not be Giannis right now or some of those Jason Tatum's, those guys right now, but he's still LeBron. He's still somebody to contend with. So this headline, or this article, goes deeper into how he is keeping things going in his time and how much longer he actually has, because he's not really ready to retire. It's just sort of the wear and tear of just the mental stuff that's basically getting him down. Check out the link in the headlines and read it yourself. We're going to talk about our teaser story right now, because this is the part of the time where we talk about how you can be a part of the show, how you actually make things work out for the Conversation Project, and the feed thing. So what are the feeds? The feeds are our sites, our links on Twitter or X and Facebook. It's where we can post stuff to y'all's, and y'all can react to it. And you simply just react to it. Like it, love it, hate it, share it. The more reaction you get to the story, the better chance we have of talking about the story in the next episode. Today is Monday, so we took Friday, Saturday, and Sunday editions, the whole weekend's worth of stuff, and now we're presenting to you here with 10 of those stories, the top 30 for the weekend. On tomorrow and the rest of the week, we'll give you 8 stories. They'll be pulled from the top 15 for the day. This is one that was really interesting, one that actually I saw earlier in the day on Sunday, and pushed it back so it could be produced for something that could be seen today, because I think this is a more important one, and I didn't want to get lost in all the big mix. We get over 95 or so different links for the weekend to go through, and pulling 30 out of that one. This is one I wanted to get a real chance to actually fight for. Jon Stamos is speaking up about being sexually abused as a child by his babysitter, and here's why. That's the headline from BuzzFeed. So BuzzFeed's still out there doing news, and yes, it looks like a listicle, but Jon Stamos has a new book coming out that talks about his experience as a childhood, his traumatic experience, and we want you to get a chance to tell us if we're going to talk about it. You engage with the story, and if it's enough engagement, the top 15 story, chances are we'll pull it into the 8 stories to present for Tuesday. So it's that simple. Go to our feeds on Facebook and Twitter, facebook.com/this is a conversation project, or twitter.com or x.com/th_conversation, and just engage in the story. Like it, love it, hate it, share it, read it, get detailed with it, and let us know if this is one that's worthy of chatting up. We think this sponsor is worthy of chatting up because sports are all upon us. After the summer and just when there's something with baseball and things start to heat up with basketball coming up, baseball in the playoffs, about to hit the World Series in a few weeks, and of course, football. Memorabilia is a big thing for many sports fans and just fans of entertainment in itself. We are partnered with Sports Integrity to give you a chance to get sports memorabilia from a place that can guarantee offer authenticity for what you're looking for. If you're looking for that Tim Tebow jersey, they probably got one. You're looking for a ball signed by Tom Cruise. I'm not sure why Tom Cruise, but maybe he signed a baseball. It's out there as well. You're looking for that piece of art, a piece of film, that piece of sports memorabilia. Sports Integrity probably has it. Check them out, and they have the guarantee that it is authentic. We have a link to them as we are, I concierge them, if you will. Go to thisisaconversationproject.com/sportsintegrity. This is theconversationproject.com/sportsintegrity. For our affiliate link, we get a bit back when you go to them. So check them out today and see if they have that memorabilia from that movie, that TV show, or that sports team that you like. Maybe you're a fan of hockey. Maybe you're a fan of highlight, soccer, cricket. I'm not sure who likes cricket, but somebody likes cricket, and they've got stuff for cricket folks. You may have to go to the overseas warehouse, but if you're looking for that memorabilia from that special guy, special gal, it may be there. Check them out today. The Conversation Project lives online at thisisaconversationproject.com. Thank you so much for being a part of what we have going on here. I love being here to present to you stuff going on. And because of that, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of work. So we ask a little bit of you if to make the effort work for all of us. The number one thing we ask is that you follow us on our feeds and let us know what we're talking about. The engagement really is how we pick our stories every day. So if you tell me what stories to talk about or give me the idea, top 15 stories, I'll pick the ones that seem to make the best idea. And if I don't pick the ones that seem to work for you, email me. Email the show at theconversationinbox@gmail.com and ask us, why are we talking more about blank? So obviously we talk a lot about Hamas and Israel, talk a lot about Russia and Ukraine, talk about all the weirdness going on in Washington and Trump, because they're big stories and they're conversational and they're mainstream. But we also throw in some not exactly top of the hour news headline stuff that you engage with as well. So we get that from you in the feeds. We also get that from people who partner up with us directly. So we get more help, more direct feedback going forward. Check out our partnerships page at thisisaconversationproject.com/partnerships and see if you are available to do this. There is a cost to this, but we will take every single bit that you give us seriously and help to grow this thing here. And we think we take nothing for granted. We thank you in advance for all that love, all that effort you're giving to us, even the free effort, because the free effort makes the thing work literally every single day. It's time for a little bit of fun stuff as we wrap up for the morning. Wrapping up with these 3 things. Number 1, the birthday celebration for October 23rd is Ryan Reynolds, who's 47 years old today. There are plenty of great fun folks to talk about, including Weird Al Yankovic, but Ryan Reynolds was the shortest name, and we're short on characters in these things. So Ryan Reynolds hitting 47 on the day. Check out the headlines you see in the links for this video, and of course in the newsletter to see the full 3 birthdays we posted. Also 3 history lessons today. We went for the video, this one. Apple unveiled the iPod. It's officially went on sale on November the 10th, but it was unveiled on October 23rd, 2001. Sold for $399 back in 2001, as we said. So the iPod, which no longer exists, was 22 years ago. The original iPod, 22 years. How much history has that lasted? How much has gone past this year there? Gauge where you were in 2020, in 2001, and gauge where you are now and see how things work. And for a celebration today, we're going to go with TV Talk Show Host Day. And yeah, it's kind of an odd one to just celebrate the Jimmy Kimmels and the talk guys, Jerry O'Connell's, and the folks from Drew Barrymore, but it's there. Somebody made it up. We're bringing it up. October 23rd is to go live from the studio audience for National TV Talk Show Day, created to pay tribute to talk show hosts and appreciate their unique form of humor, entertaining stories, spontaneous wit, and their timely political jokes. There was also a chance to do Slap Your Irritating Coworkers Day, but I didn't think that one was the wiser option. And technically, I'm a talk show host, not on TV. I do these things on the internet, so there you go. Celebrate me. Throw me some love. How about that? It's there as well. And it's done very well, I hope. This has been Things You Might Have Heard for today. Today being Monday, October 23rd, 2023. My name is Jay Cleveland Payne, and I am wrapping up this show for this day. Reminding you to stay limber, stay hydrated, on a task, to be a great person, and enjoy the great week to come. Stop by our website, thisisconversationproject.com, for more details on everything we do, and check out our feeds and let us know what to talk about tomorrow. So, with that, what are we chatting up tomorrow? I don't know yet. You don't know yet, because we have a full day to get through. So go to the feeds to engage in stories and let me know what stories are worthy of chatting up. Until then, thank you so much. Love you. Mean it. We'll see you Tuesday.